The stone-by-stone mapping of the floor of the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre has begun in Jerusalem. A meticulous work that, even with the help of technology, is part of the long phase of study preceding the restoration of the area. With the ecumenical prayers at the cenacle, at the Syriac Orthodox Church from the Orthodox Ethiopians and the Melkite Catholic Greeks, the week of prayer for Christian unity in Jerusalem ended, while in the city of Haifa, Christians of different denominations also gathered for moments of prayer and mutual acquaintance. On the feast of St. John Bosco, the young people of the land of Jesus organized a prayer and meditation meeting in the church of the Kremzan convent of Beit Jala near Bethlehem, entitled Don Bosco, the patron saint of youth. In Jerusalem, Dar Mamilla was inaugurated. The new guest house run by Ats Pro Terra Sancta in support of the work of the Sisters of St. Vincent de Paul. The stone-by-stone mapping of the floor of the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre has begun. Every day, hundreds of pilgrims visit the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre. Over the centuries, millions of people from all over the world have walked on these stones.
In questo momento sto disegnando le pietre.
I'm an architect, and right now I'm drawing the stones, stone by stone, which will then be transported from this iPad to the computer. From there, we will get a technical drawing that will be used together with the information gathered by the restorers, the geologists, and those who are part of our team. We will be able to understand the state of conservation, the mapping of the deterioration, the surfaces, in order to formulate a hypothesis of a restoration project.
Un'ipotesi di progetto di restauro.
The project is carried out by the Foundation Center for the Conservation and Restoration of Cultural Heritage La Venaria Reale CCR of Turin and the Department of Antiquity Sciences of the University La Sapienza of Rome.
Questa fase qua è la fase praticamente è venuta dopo la documentazione con
We're in the first phase of work. This phase came after the documentation by a laser scan of the entire floor of the basilica. In this way, working on this document, we can then evaluate the state of conservation. This means evaluating the degradation that every stone and every slab on this floor has suffered. But at the same time, we are also studying the type of material, the origin, where the material which made the floor of a basilica comes from.
L'origine di questi materiali, da dove arrivano questi materiali che hanno fatto il pavimento della basilica.
For the architect Osama Hamdam, the approach to the work is conservative, even if at this stage it is not entirely clear what can be preserved and what can't.
Sono molto contento perché abbiamo finito anche il restauro dell'edicola, ma adesso cominciamo con il pavimento.
I'm very happy because we've finished restoring the edicula and we're not starting with the floor. Gradually, the situation of the basilica is improving, especially with regard to the issue of the visitors' safety, which have increased in the last period. Our project will take into consideration the safety of the pilgrims, but at the same time we have to take into account the facilities that will provide the basilica as well as the aesthetic aspect.
La basilica, ma anche l'aspetto estetico della basilica.
It is a particular emotion because we are in this place, the fulcrum of Christianity, and we are right next to the wayside shrine of Jesus. It is a great emotion. It is very beautiful and interesting because there are so many layers of this floor that have been added over the centuries as a result of the various interventions and occupations that took place. So, it is also very interesting to discover and see the various differences and how all these elements have been intertwined, a great historical testimony and certainly a great pleasure.
Sicuramente un grande piacere.
An intense week of prayer for unity, which brought together in Jerusalem Christians of the different churches and confessions, came to an end. The theme chosen for these 9 days of ecumenical prayer was "They treated us with kindness," from the passage of the Act of the Apostles in reference to the shipwreck of St. Paul.
È vero che è una sfida. Questo lo sappiamo
It's a challenge. We know this from the experience we have in our families, in our communities, in our parishes, and especially for this city. It is a challenge to be in unity. And here in Jerusalem, with all the churches, all the communities we have, we can always do better. We must pray and ask God for help. This is what we do these days.
Pregare e chiedere l'aiuto di Dio. E questo lo facciamo in questi giorni.
At the cenacle, the Benedictine monks of the Basilica of the Dormition of Mary guided the prayer. Songs, gospel readings, exchanges of peace, Our Father recited in unison, and the final blessing. Gestures full of meaning that were repeated every evening in the churches of the Holy City.
Nonostante le difficoltà,
In spite of the difficulties and the challenges, Jesus had many challenges when he prayed for unity. We also have challenges, but we can try to live in unity because God asked us to do so.
noi possiamo cercare veramente di vivere l'unità, perché Dio lo ha chiesto.
Then the Church of St. Mark of the Orthodox Syriacs welcomed leaders and faithful of the 13 Christian denominations. An ecumenical journey that continued over the weekend, when the faithful and religious visited the Orthodox Ethiopians and the Melkite Greek Catholics.
alle chiese di Gerusalemme di non soddisfarsi solo in questa settimana di preghiera.
I want to say to the churches in Jerusalem that I am not satisfied with this week of prayer alone. We must pray, meet more, find opportunities so that we can serve, help our Christians. But we can also give a message to the world, to everyone. And that is to accompany us first of all with their prayer and with their love, to help us to remain in the Holy Land.
Loro preghiera, con il loro amore, grande amore. Così rimaniamo in Terra Santa, aiutarci di rimanere in Terra Santa.
Everyone sing and pray with one voice, with the desire that peace and above all unity will always be in their hearts.
أهمية هذا الحدث بحيفا هي أهمية كتير كبيرة خاصة لأنه حيفا هي مدينة
This event in Haifa is very important because it brings together various churches and apostolic groups of different denominations: Orthodox, Catholics, Maronites, Anglicans, Armenians and others. Haifa is the center of this work of unity. This unity is useful and necessary and certainly brings joy to the Lord.
فعلا رسالة لكل العالم إنه الوحدة بتنفع وضرورية وأكيد بتفرح ربنا.
Which are just about people in small groups between Anglicans, Catholics, sharing time, understanding each other, talking about our common tradition, understanding those things which might be unexpected learnings we can take from each other. So I think it is in human community coming together in friendship and dialogue.
Conversion, hospitality, strength, trust, hope, light and reconciliation, and God's call for us today. Following the example of St. Paul, who in the past welcomed everyone despite differences in faith, practice and culture, we are called to welcome our migrant brothers and sisters.
تعلمنا رسالة بولس أن نعيش المحبة أن نعيش
The letter of St. Paul teaches us to live a devotional life, to live the faith, to live reconciliation between us and hospitality for foreigners. When he speaks of foreigners, he does not speak of foreigners in the sense of other people, but refers to Christians and non-Christians, believers and non-believers.
احنا انولدنا هون لسبب.
We were born here for a reason. There is something we must live for and a goal we must achieve. Therefore, as Christians, we are determined because this is our land, the land that Christ blessed with his presence. The good news and the message of salvation have gone from here to the whole world, and we will continue to go on.
Our Christian presence in the Holy Land is constant and immovable. Jesus said to us, "Bring your cross every day and follow me." Our presence means carrying the cross and being a message of love and peace. We do not encourage young people to emigrate, but unfortunately, a large number of them plan to do so.
St. John Bosco used to say, "God sent me to the young people, and I am ready to give everything to win their hearts and present them to the Lord." Following his example, the group Young People of the Land of Jesus, on the occasion of the feast of St. John Bosco on the 31st of January, organized a prayer and meditation meeting in the church of the Cremisian monastery in Beit Jala, Bethlehem, with the title Don Bosco, the patron saint of youth.
دون بوسكو كان له دعوة كتير مهمة. دون بوسكو
St. John Bosco had a very important call. He could take care of abandoned young people, guide them, and be like a father to them. He led them on the path of kindness and introduced Jesus into their lives.
رسالة القديس دون بوسكو هي بتخيل من أهم الرسائل اللي ممكن نحن ناخدها كشباب مسيحيين.
The message of St. John Bosco is one of the most important messages for us and the Christian youth. Don Bosco used to say, "I would like to take young people with me to heaven." He was talking about great numbers. Once he said, "How I would like to lead 100,000 young men and women to heaven." Our Christian presence, regardless of numbers, 100 or 1,000 or more, must be like the salt of the earth. Even if we are small, we must be active wherever we are.
The meeting, led by Father Giorgio, a Salesian, focused on 3 points that young Christians must live. The first point is that Don Bosco asked his children to love God, to fear him, to keep his commandments, and to believe in divine providence. The second point is the attitude, the distinction between good and evil, and the discovery of talents and abilities. The third point is the link between the first 2 points, which is love. The Church today, with all its institutions, its movements, and its mission, always seeks to keep young Christians in their land and in the places where they live. The message of young people in general, and the youth of the land of Jesus in particular, is to remain in the land of Jesus and to continue to live here because we are born here and are called to remain here and be the hope and the light of the whole world. Young people have always been the present and the future. This has increased in Don Bosco the awareness of their importance for the future of the Church and the security of society. He sowed the seeds of Christian education and shaped their souls from the beginning of their lives to help them become good Christians and honest citizens in a society charged with the virtues of love, faith, and giving. To welcome, to give hospitality to the pilgrims, to make them feel at home. From today, there is an additional structure with a noble purpose to offer all this in Jerusalem. A stone's throw from the old city and from the places of the redemption, the new guest house Dar Mamilla, run by Ats Pro Terra Sancta, was inaugurated on Tuesday the 4th of February. The structure, located at the convent of the Sisters of St. Vincent de Paul, was blessed by Brother Francesco Patton, Custos of the Holy Land, together with the Vicar Custodial Brother Dobromir Yatsal, in the presence of some friars and sisters of the congregation. The NGO of the Custody of the Holy Land decided in 2018 to take charge of the renovation of some of the premises. Today, Dar Mamilla has 13 rooms on 2 floors, a kitchen and a laundry room.
Le suore sono state molto disponibili, ci hanno accolto bene.
The sisters were very helpful. They welcomed us so nicely. The first guests arrived already in mid-October. We're starting to get more and more requests, thanks to the word of mouth and the Christian Information Center website. Now we are working on a website.
Siamo sul sito del Christian Information Center. Stiamo preparando un mini sito.
The Daughters of Charity of the Order of St. Vincent de Paul, putting into practice the teachings of their founder, welcome the last and the less fortunate ones. There are about 240 children of different nationalities and religions who attend the kindergarten and 20 disabled people they take care of. the mission that Ats Pro Terra Sancta will be able to support.
Il goal è quello di anche aiutare le suore, perché hanno sempre bisogno.
The aim is to help the nuns because they always need funds and help for the kindergarten and the disabled. ATS believes that with the proceeds of this guest house, they can make a contribution to the nuns every year.
Di continuare a dare un contributo alle suore tutti gli anni.